If you are watching this and you actually have the discipline to implement what I am telling you, then no one in the entire universe can stop you from becoming the man you always dreamed of being. This is not a maybe, and this is not a perhaps, because this is the law of absolute focused work ethic. The universe is forced to bow down to a man who refuses to quit and refuses to settle for less. You need to understand that most people are just trying their best, but trying is a word for losers. Trying is just an excuse for when they eventually fail and go back to their comfortable, average lives. A winner does whatever it takes until the job is done and the victory is secured permanently. Absolute focused work ethic means you turn your life into a high-level laboratory of productivity. Every single distraction is removed, and your only obsession is the objective you have set for yourself. You are currently surrounded by people who are content with being good enough in everything they do. But good enough is the poison that kills empires and turns lions into soft domestic house cats. You have to realize that the man you want to be, the man with the respect and the resources, is waiting. He is waiting for you on the other side of a massive mountain of work that you haven't even started. This is the easiest time in all of human history to win, because the bar is currently on the floor. Your competition is busy arguing on the internet or playing video games while the world passes them by. While they waste their potential, you are here building your mind and your body for the war ahead. If you can simply focus on one task for 4 hours without looking at your phone, you have already won. You have outpaced 99% of the population who are addicted to the cheap dopamine of a notification. I am talking about a level of focus that is so deep, it becomes a spiritual experience for you. It is a state where the time disappears and the pain disappears, and all that remains is the output. You have to reprogram your brain to crave the difficulty instead of running away from it. The difficulty is the only thing that proves you are moving forward and growing as a man. Most men are terrified of the dark, and they are terrified of the silence of their own thoughts. But that is exactly where you will find the man you were meant to be since the day you were born. I am giving you the keys to the kingdom right now, but most of you are too lazy to even turn the lock. You are still waiting for motivation to hit you like a lightning bolt before you start the grind. Motivation is a scam for people who aren't serious about their success or their legacy. Discipline is the only thing that gets the G-Wagon in the driveway and the private jet in the air. You have to be willing to work when the world is sleeping and everyone else is dreaming of success. You have to be willing to suffer when the world is celebrating and wasting their precious time. That is the entry fee for the top 1%, and it is a price that most people are simply too cowardly to pay. The Matrix wants you to think that success is luck, or that it's reserved for a special gifted few. But I am telling you that success is a mathematical certainty if you apply enough pressure. If you apply that pressure for a long enough period of time, the world has no choice but to break. You have to become a machine that produces value and ignores the noise of the peasants around you. They want to drag you back down to their level so they don't feel bad about their own failures. This is absolute focused work ethic, the refusal to accept anything less than total victory. Victory in every single area of your life, from your bank account to your physical health and mind. If you implement this and lock in until your old weak self is dead, you will be transformed. You will look back a year from now and realize that you have become a god among men. The universe rewards the obsessed, and it's time for you to show exactly how much you want it. Stop talking about it, stop dreaming about it, and start being the man who does it every single day. The power of small habits is the most misunderstood concept in the world by the average person. Most of you think it's about making your bed or some other suburban nonsense that doesn't matter. But I'm telling you that your habits are the literal code of your life's operating system. If there is even one bug in that code, the whole program will crash when the pressure gets high. Every single thing you do, no matter how small, is a vote for the king you want to become. Or it is a vote for the peasant you were trying to kill and leave behind in the past. I remember being in the gym and my coach telling me to do 50 push-ups for the set. I would do 51, not because I needed the extra muscle, but because I needed to prove a point. I needed to prove to my brain that I was the master and that I would always do more than required. That one extra push-up is a small habit, but it's the difference between a follower and a leader. You think wasting 1 second doesn't matter, but that 1 second is a breach of your perimeter. If you let a single second of your focus be stolen by a notification, you have lost control. You have shown the universe that you are not the commander of your own mind or your destiny. In a world-class kickboxing match, 1 second is the difference between a win and a knockout. The digital battlefield is exactly the same, because the man who holds focus longer takes the glory. Treat your time like it is a finite resource of pure gold that must be protected at all costs. If someone tries to steal even a second of it through distraction, you should be absolutely angry. Be as angry as if they tried to reach into your pocket and steal your hard-earned cash. Now let's talk about the power of saying no to gossip for just one single day in your life. Most of you spend your energy talking about what other people are doing instead of doing it yourself. Gossip is the ultimate low vibration activity for people who have no lives of their own. When you talk about who is dating who or what someone said online, you are draining your power. You are handing your energy over to people who don't even know you exist or care about you. If you commit to 24 hours of absolute silence regarding others, you will feel a massive shift. For the first time, all that focus is being directed inward toward your own mission and goals. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, but small minds only discuss people. If you want to be in that top 1%, you have to stop acting like a small-minded peasant. Saying no to small-minded conversations is a habit that builds a wall of discipline around you. It sends a signal to everyone that you are playing a different game at a much higher level. Your life is built on these tiny moments and decisions that you make every single hour. If you can master the small things, the big things will eventually take care of themselves. Every single day you wake up, you are either building your fortress or letting it rot. It all comes down to whether you have the balls to be boring and consistent for years. The rest of the world is chasing the next shiny object while you are building a foundation. The power of habits is that they make greatness automatic, so you don't even have to think. Even on your worst day when you feel like a 0, you still perform like a 10 on autopilot. Your autopilot is set to excellence because you have trained it through repetition and pain. You have to reprogram your brain to find a sick kind of pleasure in the repetition of the grind. That is where the real power is found, in the boring daily work that nobody else wants to do. Stop looking for the big aha moment and start looking at the 1 second you just wasted. Look at the one gossip session you just joined, because that is where the war is won or lost. God is watching the small things because anybody can act like a hero for 5 minutes. Only a king can stay disciplined for 5 years when nobody is watching or clapping for him. If you waste a second, you are telling the Creator that the life He gave you isn't valuable. If you join in the gossip, you are telling the world that your mind is a trash can for drama. Stand up and tighten your grip on your time, your tongue, and your habits right now. This is the only way to lock in and truly conquer the world that is trying to keep you down. The easiest time to win is right now because everyone else is wasting their words on nonsense. While they waste their lives, you are building an unbreakable version of yourself in the dark. You are a biological creature and your brain is a piece of ancient, outdated software. It was designed thousands of years ago for one thing: survival through laziness and safety. Back then, if you saved your energy, you lived longer, but that software is killing you today. In the modern world, that energy-saving mode is why you are broke, tired, and stuck. Your mind is literally programmed to lie to you every single time things get difficult. It tells you that you're tired when you've barely worked and you have plenty of fuel left. It tells you that you're burnt out when you've just been scrolling on your phone for 3 hours. Treat your own thoughts like an enemy spy trying to sabotage your mission and your future. Reprogram your brain to see comfort as the ultimate danger to your survival and success. Hard work is the ultimate safety because it builds the resources you need to survive anything. To reach the top 1%, you have to go directly against what your mind tells you to do. When that alarm goes off and your brain whispers to stay in the warm bed, you must move. Kick the blankets off and realize that the warmth is the smell of a dying dream. You have to lock in so hard that the rest of the world completely disappears from your view. To lock in means you become a ghost, a phantom that the world can no longer track or influence. Stop answering the texts from people who aren't making you better or pushing you forward. Stop watching the news that is designed to make you scared, reactive, and easily controlled. Enter a tunnel where the only thing that exists is the work, the gym, and the ultimate goal. Most people talk about the grind, but they quit the moment it gets boring or repetitive. The real grind isn't a motivational video with cool music. It is silence and repetition. It is doing the exact same difficult thing for the 500th day in a row when nobody cares. It's the silence of the work that eventually builds the noise of the massive success. You are currently in a war for your own life, and the enemy is the version of you that is normal. Normal is a trap. It's a 9-to-5 job you hate and a body that is out of shape and weak. To escape the trap, you must be abnormal and you must be obsessed with your mission. Everyone else is addicted to cheap dopamine and temporary feelings that mean nothing. If you can focus on one thing for 4 hours, you are a superhero compared to the average man. Realize that money is just stored energy, and if you aren't making it, you aren't giving energy. You are holding back and playing it safe because you are afraid of what might happen. God is watching you, and he isn't going to reward the guy who just did enough. He rewards the man who gave his absolute everything until there was nothing left to give. The lock-in phase is a choice you make today, not something you do when you feel like it. Decide right now that for the next 6 months, you do not exist for anyone but the mission. Grind until your old friends don't recognize you and your bank account looks like a phone number. Grind until the man you used to be is a distant, embarrassing memory you want to forget. The window of opportunity is closing, and the Matrix is trying to distract you before you escape. Don't let them win. Lock in, grind hard, and take everything the world is trying to keep. I remember the exact moment I decided to go ghost on the world and disappear for a while. I looked at my phone and realized every person reaching out was asking for a favor, or they were inviting me to waste my time on something that didn't move the needle. As long as people could find me, they could influence my thoughts and my actions. I turned my phone into a brick and moved into a state of total isolation to find myself. I sat in the silence of my own ambition and realized how to truly transform my life. You have to kill the old version of yourself in a dark room where nobody can hear the scream. You cannot become a king while you are still hanging out with peasants who knew you as a loser. You cannot build a new reality if you are constantly reminded of your old, pathetic mistakes. The 6-month vanish is the ultimate psychological reset for a man who wants more. Step out of the matrix and stop feeding the digital parasites that live off your attention. Your current social circle and habits are anchors holding a great ship in a small harbor. Tell your family you're busy, and tell your friends you're moving, and tell the world nothing. Your plans are none of their business until they see the results manifesting in your life. During these 6 months, you are not a human being with feelings. You are a machine. You are a machine that eats, sleeps, and works on a loop that never breaks for anything. Wake up at the same time, train until your body screams, and build until your eyes burn. You are finally operating at your true biological potential for the first time in years. The person you want to be, the respected, rich, and powerful man, is trapped inside you. The only way to let him out is to starve the old you of all the things he loves and craves. No more partying, no more Netflix, no more mindless scrolling, and no more losers. The first month will be hell, because your brain will crave the dopamine hits of validation. But by the 3rd month, you will feel a level of mental clarity that is almost supernatural. You will see the world as a game of chess and realize everyone else is just a pawn. When you finally re-emerge, you will not be the same man who left 6 months ago. Your voice will be deeper, your shoulders broader, and your presence will be felt by all. People will ask where you went, and you will just smile because they wouldn't understand. The re-emergence is about the quiet confidence of a man who has conquered his own biology. You cannot fix a broken house while you are still living in the middle of the wreckage. Move out and rebuild the foundation from scratch in the dark where nobody can see. If you disappear and do the work, you will return with a light that blinds the doubters. The universe rewards the man willing to be alone and misunderstood for his mission. Stop being afraid of the silence and start using it as a weapon to destroy your weaknesses. This is the entry fee you must pay if you want to own the world and join the elite 1%. The 24-hour war is the only war that matters in the long run for your success. You can't build a 1,000-year empire if you can't even conquer the next 60 minutes. Most people lose their entire lives because they lose their mornings and their momentum. Every single hour is a trench you have to hold against the enemy of procrastination. The moment you let your guard down is the moment the matrix creeps back in to steal. The war begins the night before when you decide exactly what victory looks like tomorrow. A man without a plan is just a victim, waiting for the world to tell him what to do next. You don't find time to be successful. You take it from the hours average men waste. From the second you open your eyes, you are under attack by your own lazy brain. Your brain is going to try to negotiate and tell you that you have done enough today. Crush that voice with immediate, violent action and do not let it speak again. Don't check notifications or the news, and don't invite any opinions into your head. Establish dominance over your own biology before the sun is even up in the sky. This is the power hour, and if you win it, the rest of the day is already yours to take. As the day progresses, the war becomes a battle of attrition for your focus and energy. Every time you switch tasks or answer a text, you suffer from attention residue. Part of your brain stays stuck on the last thing while you try to move forward blindly. The elite man works in blocks of absolute intensity, where he is 100% present in the task. Treat your focus like a loaded weapon. Only point it at things that deserve to be built. If an hour goes by and you haven't moved closer to your goals, you have lost a battle. Even your downtime is a theater of war because numbing your brain sabotages your offensive. A king's recovery is tactical. He eats for fuel, learns for leverage, and sleeps for restoration. You are a machine, and if you don't respect the mechanics, you will break down. The 24-hour war never ends. It just changes shape as the moon replaces the sun. The man who maintains discipline through the dark hours is the man who will own the light. If you view every hour as a high-stakes mission, you will achieve a decade's work in a month. No one is coming to save you or give you back the hours you wasted on nonsense. Be the commander of your own time and the dictator of your own schedule starting now. While you are in the trenches bleeding for your dreams, a higher power is watching. Trust God's timing because the universe is a perfectly tuned machine that rewards faith. You will get exactly what you deserve, but God doesn't give crowns to the unproven. If you were given power today, it would destroy you because you lack the character. The delay is not a denial. It is a preparation phase for the weight you must carry. Peasants want the harvest before the seeds are even planted in the ground. A king knows the reward is guaranteed by the laws of cause and effect, so he works. When the time comes, the floodgates will open, and your old life will be washed away. Stay in the dark, keep your head down, and show you are a faithful steward of the small. God is watching when you are tired, lonely, and when you think nobody cares. He is testing your resolve to see if you are a man of your word or just a talker. If you are doing your absolute best and going to bed exhausted, you have done your part. The most dangerous man on the planet is the one who can work without a reward. That man is impossible to discourage and impossible to break because he is a warrior. Combine focused work ethic with trust in the divine timeline and you will be unstoppable. You are being forged in the fire right now, so you don't melt when you stand in the sun. The lock-in is about the peace of knowing your destiny is secure as long as you work. When the clock strikes your hour, the doubters will see you were prepared all along. Stop checking the clock and start checking your output and your value to the world. The man you are becoming is far more valuable than the money you are currently chasing. The final legacy is about building something massive that survives the test of time. Most men are forgotten in 2 generations because they lived only for themselves. A king understands that legacy survives the decay of culture and the shift of power. You are working to become the great ancestor whose portrait hangs on the wall in 300 years. You are the one who finally broke the chains of mediocrity for your entire bloodline. To build a legacy, stop thinking in years and start thinking in centuries and dynasties. If you died today and nothing unshakable remained, you haven't started your real work.
A legacy is built on sovereign wealth, unbreakable values, and genetic excellence. Instill a code of honor in your descendants so they deserve the wealth you build.
Money without character is a curse, but money with a warrior mindset is an empire. The system wants your children distracted, your name forgotten, and your assets taxed. A final legacy is an act of rebellion against a world that wants you to be a cog. Create islands of sanity, private land, and private networks for your people. You must be the most disciplined version of yourself because your children are watching. On your deathbed, you won't care about followers. You will care about the men you raised. Your life was never about you. It was about the mission and the name and the blood. When you work for your descendants, your energy becomes infinite and your focus sharp. The Matrix can take your money, but it cannot take a legacy etched into souls. Build your fortress, train your soldiers, and trust the timing of your legend. If you don't have what you want right now, it is simply because you do not deserve it yet. That is a pill most of you are too weak to swallow because you want to blame others. The universe is a perfect mirror reflecting back exactly what you have put into it. If your life is mediocre, it is because your effort and discipline have been a joke. You want $1 million, but you can't even beat the snooze button in the morning. You want a loyal woman, but you don't have the self-control to stop looking at trash. You are asking for a champion's reward while having the work ethic of a coward. Deserving something is a state of being earned through consistent, violent action. Until you have bled for your goals, the universe owes you nothing but crumbs. The elite only understand the language of completion and total dominance. If you don't have the respect, it's because you haven't become the man worthy of it. You are a low-value version of yourself expecting high-value results from the world. God is waiting for you to prove you won't waste the blessing when it finally arrives. If you are lazy with $1,000, you will be a disaster with $1 million. Become the man who deserves the dream before the dream is allowed to manifest. Work as if you already have the life you want while living in the struggle you hate. Shortcuts are for losers. Look for the heaviest weight you can carry and lift it. When you can look God in the eye and say you've given everything, the world shifts. Until then, shut your mouth, stop complaining, and realize your situation is your choice. Lock in and earn your seat at the table, because no one gives it away for free. The talking stops here, and the reality of your existence slams into you right now. Listening for 100 hours means nothing if you don't move with the violence of action. You have been given the blueprint and shown why you are currently failing at life. There are no more excuses and no more thinking. There is only cold execution. Execute with a cold-blooded ruthlessness that scares everyone who knows you. Turn the blueprint into a physical reality starting this very second of your life. Delete the apps rotting your brain and block the people draining your limited energy. The Matrix wants you to finish this and go right back to your old, lazy habits. If you do that, you officially chosen to be a peasant and die in obscurity. The version of you that was trying is dead, and the version that completes is born. Walk out of your door and see every person as a competitor and every hour as a battle. Every single dollar is stored energy that belongs to the man willing to take it by force. Execution is about consistency over intensity, grinding when everyone else is asleep. If you execute for 6 months, you won't even recognize the sound of your own voice. You will speak from a place of power and achievement rather than hope and desperation. The time for learning is over, and the time for conquering the world has begun. The window is closing and the world is waiting to see if you have the heart of a king. Get up, get out there and execute until the universe has no choice but to give in. Hesitating is a betrayal of the man you claim you want to become in the future. Every second you sit there contemplating is a second the Matrix is winning the war. The world is littered with the corpses of men who had ideas but lacked the stomach. Develop a level of violence in your actions that makes average people uncomfortable. Move at the speed of a predator who has finally spotted his prey and will not miss. The final execution is the death of excuses and the birth of the man who gets it done. Regardless of the pain or the fatigue or the overwhelming odds, you must finish. If you don't change your environment will change you back to a peasant. Tear down every habit and relationship that doesn't serve the vision of the king. This is not about being busy. It's about being effective and being a conqueror. Work ethic is the only currency that never devalues in this corrupt world. If you don't hunt your dreams, your nightmares will eventually hunt you down. You have been given the sum of all knowledge and the blueprint for dominance. If you don't use it, you are a fool, and you deserve the misery that is coming for you. Implement this with a focus so sharp it could cut through solid steel with ease. No government or economy can stop a man who has taken his throne by force. Stop looking for a way out and start looking for a way through the fire. Don't stop until you reach the top of the mountain and look down at what you conquered. The time for watching is over. This is your life slipping away 1 second at a time. Decide right now if you are going to be a man of action or a man of deep regret. Move with enough speed and enough fury to jump through the gate of the 1% elite. Let the screen go black and go out and build a life that makes old dreams look small. The final execution starts with your next breath and your next dedicated grind. Show the world that you are the master of your destiny and the commander of your fate. You are busy staring at a screen to realize the door is being slammed shut on your entire future. You are living in the most pathetic, weakest, and most distracted era in the history of all humanity. This is exactly why it is the easiest time in history to become a god among average, weak men. Look around you at the competition and tell me what you see, because all I see are zombies. I see zombies addicted to dopamine hits and short-term gratification who couldn't focus for 10 minutes. You are crying about the economy and the cost of living while holding a device with infinite power. That device in your hand gives you more power than a king had 500 years ago, and you waste it. You have the sum of all human knowledge in your pocket and you use it to watch girls dance. You look at memes while the winners are extracting every single dollar from the digital landscape. This is the easiest time to win because nobody else is even trying. They are just existing. They are existing in a state of perpetual sedation. while you have the chance to be a predator. If you have even 1% of discipline, you will lap these people 1,000 times over easily. If you have a fraction of the hunger your ancestors had, you'll win before they know the race started. We are living in a glitch in the matrix where the old rules of working 40 years are dead and buried. The new rules allow a kid with a laptop and a vision to out-earn a professional brain surgeon. But you think this lasts forever? You think this accessibility stays open for the next 50 years? You are wrong, because the systems are tightening and the gates are closing right now as we speak. The barrier to entry for greatness is at an all-time low, because the average man is castrated by comfort. If you can simply put your phone in another room and work for 4 hours, you are in the top 5%. The world is soft, which means if you become hard, you will cut through it like a hot knife through butter. Do you understand the gravity of the situation? Or will you wait until you're 45 and full of regret? Every single day you wake up is a war for your attention, and if you lose that war, you lose your life. The elites want you distracted, tired, broke, and compliant, because a clear mind is impossible to control. You are being fed a lie that life is supposed to be easy and that you deserve happiness for existing. The universe doesn't give a damn about your feelings. It only respects force and actual results. Stop looking for a shortcut and start looking for a sledgehammer to smash through your obstacles. You see guys in Lamborghinis and think they got lucky, but luck has absolutely nothing to do with it. They just realize the secret that you are too lazy to accept. Winning is a conscious choice. This exact moment is the easiest it will ever be to conquer, because the standards have never been lower. Men used to face bayonets at war, and you're complaining that your coffee is cold or the internet is slow. You are weak, and your weakness is the only thing standing between you and the life in your dreams. If you don't seize this moment right now, it will never come back because the opportunity vanishes. You are living in the wild west of the digital age where fortunes are made in months, not decades. Stop waiting for the perfect time, because that is a myth created by cowards to justify inaction. You need to become a machine, a predator that hunts success with a relentless fury that scares people. Most people will hate you for it and call you arrogant or lucky, but that's just a reflection of their failure. You owe it to your bloodline to be the one who finally breaks the cycle of mediocrity. You owe it to the version of you that hasn't been born yet to build a kingdom that cannot be shaken. If you let this time slip while chasing cheap thrills, you deserve the misery that is coming for you. The world doesn't need more nice guys, it needs men capable of extreme violence of action. Look at your hands and realize they were meant to build empires, not just scroll through feeds. Every second you waste is a second you are giving to your enemies who want to see you fail. This is the era of the focused man, because focus is the new IQ and the new global currency. If you can master your mind, you can master the world and everything that exists within it. The easiest time to win is now, because everyone else is a slave to their base impulses. Don't be a slave, be the master of your own destiny, and realize the window is closing fast. You are either the one who watches or the one who is watched, and I know which one I'd rather be. Wake up and realize the Matrix has given you a gift by making everyone else so incredibly weak. Greatness is practically being handed to anyone with the balls to stand up and take it. The competition is non-existent because the competition is busy watching Netflix and sleeping. This is your time, and if you waste it, you are the biggest fool to ever walk the earth. The sky is the limit, but you are too busy looking at the dirt. Stand up and take what is yours. The world is waiting for a leader, and it might as well be you instead of someone else. If this time goes, it's never coming back, and you'll spend your life wondering what if. Don't be that guy. Be the guy who saw the opportunity and took it while everyone else complained. The easy path leads to a hard life, and the hard path leads to an easy life. Choose your hard. This is the ultimate test of your character and your will. Are you a lion or are you a sheep? The time for choosing is almost over, and the wolves are getting very hungry for the weak. Success is your duty and your obligation. If you fail, you have no one to blame but yourself. Get to work, and don't stop until the world knows your name, because it's time to win. The universe is not a charity. It does not hand out participation trophies to those who show up. The universe only responds to the frequency of absolute obsession and total relentless war. There is a cosmic ledger being kept of every drop of sweat you shed and every hour you sacrifice. The universe rewards those who want it the most, not those who wish for it while lying in bed. You need a hunger so visceral and deep that it keeps you awake while the world is snoring. God is watching you when nobody else is looking and measuring your resolve when you're broken. You think you can hide your laziness from the Creator, but He sees every shortcut you take. If you want the rewards of a king, you must have the work ethic of a slave and a warrior's heart. Every single day is an audition for the life you claim you want. Don't insult your potential. Luck is just the name losers give to the favor of the universe when it pays out to the persistent. Move with such intensity that the universe has no choice but to give way to your iron will. A man doing his absolute best is an unstoppable force of nature that cannot be denied. One day you will be rewarded, but that day is decided by the depth of your personal sacrifice. Work as if everything depends on you, and pray as if everything depends on God. That is synergy. The rewards are reserved for the elite few who can endure the silence and the struggle. Transformation happens when you are alone in the dark, pushing through the intense pain. Do not mistake silence for absence. God is recording every single effort you make in the dark. When the time is right, the floodgates will open and your enemies will be blinded by your light. Prove you can handle the weight of the crown before it is placed on your head through discipline. If you are doing your best, you have nothing to fear because the law of cause and effect is absolute. Stop looking at the clock and start looking at your output. The universe cares about your work. You are being tested right now to see if you are worthy of the life you say you want. The easiest time to win is now, but the universe still requires the price of total devotion. One day you'll realize this struggle was the forge that turned your iron into tempered steel. Keep pushing and keep grinding because the reward is guaranteed to the man who refuses to be denied. The warrior mindset is forged in the fires of your personal hell and keeps you upright. A warrior does not have the luxury of checking his mood before he decides to perform. Feelings are the most unreliable compass. If you only work when you feel like it, you're a slave. A slave can never be a king. You must develop emotional stoicism against the external world. The Matrix wants you reactive and emotional so it can manipulate you with fear and vanity. A warrior completes tasks with clinical precision regardless of being tired or uninspired. You are in a constant war with your lower self. Choosing the easy path is losing a battle. Pain is not a signal to stop. It's a signal that you are finally paying the entry fee for greatness. Crave the resistance because it's the only way to build character and separate from cowards. Most men today are terrified of exertion, but your physical state is the foundation of your mind. You cannot have a sharp mind and a soft body. You must dominate your own lazy desires. Push through the workout when your body screams to quit to train your brain to ignore ego lies. You are building a fortress around your mind that no amount of doubt can ever penetrate. Real life is brutal and doesn't care about your excuses or your feelings of inadequacy. The world respects competence and fears a man who cannot be broken by any circumstance. Look at every obstacle as a gift and every enemy as a teacher sharpening your blade. If life is too easy, you risk becoming obsolete. A sword that is never used eventually rusts. Seek out the hard things and lean into discomfort until it becomes your natural habitat. A warrior doesn't complain about the rain, he just learns how to fight effectively within it. You are the commander of your soul. If your troops are undisciplined, you deserve to be conquered. Audit your circle and remove the parasites who leak your energy with their average thinking. Surround yourself with warriors who push you to the highest standards of excellence. Take absolute responsibility for everything in your life to keep the power in your own hands. You are the architect of your failure and the author of your success. Stop waiting for a savior. The world needs men who can lead, but you can't lead anyone if you can't lead yourself. The warrior is focused on the objective with laser-like intensity while others are distracted. Develop a kill or be killed mentality for your goals. If you don't hunt dreams, nightmares hunt you. Stand up and tighten your grip on the reality you want to create. Don't let go until you've bled. You were meant to be the main event, but that requires a level of sacrifice that makes men vomit. Embrace the suck and love the grind. The warrior mindset is the only key to the life you want. The digital battlefield is the only theater of war that matters in the 21st century. While you sleep, the entire world is being rewired for a brand new hierarchy of power. The internet is not a playground. It's a global coliseum where attention is the new gold. If you are not mining attention, you are the one being mined by teams of geniuses. Every app harvests your data and sells your focus while you get nothing but mediocrity. In the digital battlefield, you are either a producer or a consumer. There is no middle ground. Consumers are cattle led to the slaughterhouse of debt. Producers are warlords building empires. You are a victim of a psychological operation designed to keep you poor and distracted. Stop being a customer of the matrix and start being a vendor. The gold rush is happening now. You don't need permission or a degree because the internet has democratized printing money. Exploit the addiction of soft men by becoming the one who provides value or controls info. Social media is a weapon of mass construction or destruction, depending on your side of the screen. Use your laptop as a command center to launch an assault on the global market, not for watching. The digital battlefield rewards speed, aggression, and the man who stays up to learn skills. While friends party, you should be in the trenches building your brand and your cash flow. Cash is the only fuel that can power your escape from the modern-day plantation. A single viral idea can generate more wealth in a week than a grandfather made in a lifetime. Develop a digital fortress around your mind and stop letting noise dictate your actions. If you aren't building online, you don't exist in the future economy and will rot away. Master the psychology behind clicks, and you master the vault of the world's wealth. This is a game of chess where the board is the planet and the stakes are your freedom. Reach millions from your bedroom. If you don't use that power, you're a traitor to your potential. The digital battlefield is the fastest place to get feedback on whether you are winning or losing. Fail fast and fail forward until the algorithm finally recognizes your absolute dominance. Don't be a ghost in the machine. Be the ghost that haunts it and takes everything it offers. Money is not just paper, it's the physical representation of energy and value provided. Every dollar is a battery storing your sweat. Wasting it is bleeding your life force away. Most people are poor because they have a peasant's relationship with their own energy. They trade life for a paycheck and immediately trade that for toys that keep them in poverty. Stop looking at money as something to spend. Look at it as a soldier sent to capture more. The universe doesn't care about your need, it only cares about your value to the market. Convert your raw effort into a currency that can be leveraged to buy your freedom. Lack of money is the root of all misery because it traps you in forced labor and limited choice. Develop a predator's instinct for capital. Money flows to those who respect and command it. Money is attracted to speed, competence, and the man who refuses to be ignored. Being broke is a sign that you are being lazy or stupid with your biological output. You cannot attract world energy if you put out the energy of a coward afraid of risk. Obsess over income streams like a starving man. Independence is your only shield against the matrix. Every time you buy something you don't need, you are selling a piece of your future. Money has no morality. It doesn't care who owns it as long as they had the strength to take it. Become a magnet for prosperity by sharpening your skills and hardening your resolve. Master the art of persuasion to unlock the world's wealth. It's a tool and a ladder. Stop viewing money through emotion and start viewing it through math and physics. Accumulate the energy of others by providing solutions they are too lazy to find themselves. God is watching how you manage small energy. If you're trusted with a little, He'll give you more. To get rich, you must become a man capable of doing what the average man cannot do. Conquer the psychology of money and you conquer the world. Once you own energy, you own life. The high performance routine is a ritual of dominance that begins the second your eyes open. The first hour is the rudder steering your ship. Don't surrender it to phone notifications. The top 0.1% do not negotiate with comfort. They know it makes them victims of biology. Your routine must be non-negotiable violent actions to shock your system into alertness. Start with physical friction, cold showers or red zone heart rates to master your flesh. While others are in a fog of caffeine, the high performer has already won 3 battles. Implement deep work blocks. Multitasking is a lie told to the distracted to keep them busy. Treat time as finite gold. Anyone who steals it without an appointment is a thief of your future. Diet is fuel, not pleasure. Processed garbage poisons the engine meant to take you to the top. Audit your surroundings and remove distractions and people who don't contribute to the mission. Mediocrity is a virus that spreads through proximity. Live like a lion, not in a cage of sheep. The evening routine sets the stage for tomorrow's victory. Don't end it in mental decay. Review wins and analyze losses with brutal honesty to identify exactly where you were weak. Sleep is tactical recovery, not a luxury. A tired man makes expensive mistakes in the war. If you break the routine, you break the man. Build a machine that runs on discipline. Success is found in the repetitive, boring actions you do when nobody is watching you. Transcending the limitations of the average man requires staying the course for a full year. Own your routine or you don't own your destiny. The world belongs to the disciplined. Transition from a lone wolf to a god-tier architect. You can't carry every brick alone. Scaling to the first million is a game of systems and leverage, not just raw effort. Build a machine that works while you sleep so your presence is no longer a requirement. Stop working in your business and start working on your business to build a true empire. Identify high-leverage activities only you can do and ruthlessly delegate or automate the rest. Hire for character and train for skill. A king is only as strong as his trusted generals. The first million requires breaking your old identity and shedding the skin of the small. Once you break that barrier, momentum becomes a tidal wave carrying you further. Stack every win as a foundation. Compound your reputation, network, and skills daily. Remain a monk of the mission until your freedom is absolute and your legacy is set in stone. The blueprint is simple, but the execution is brutal. Be both a visionary and a tactician. Diversify energy into assets the system cannot touch. Stay 3 steps ahead of the traps. Competing with giants requires sharpening your claws for the final, ultimate hunt. God rewards the man who finishes. The universe bows to the man who refuses to stop. Stay hungry and stay paranoid until the first million is just a small footnote in your story. The first million is just the warm-up. Don't fall for the trap of thinking you've reached the end. Wealth is about the level of insulation you build between your family and a hostile world. Own the stadium instead of just playing the game to avoid being one update away from ruin. Turn paper money into tangible assets because currency is a hallucination of the elites. Success is a flame that must be constantly fed with the wood of brand new challenges. Stay in monk mode even with resources. Prioritize purpose over temporary playboy pleasure. Your enemies are waiting for you to get fat and lazy so they can take what you built. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room and you are rotting. The final blueprint is about ensuring your name means something 5 generations from now. A man was built to struggle. The day you stop struggling is the day you start dying. Competing in a global marketplace with 0 friction is the greatest gift in human history. Average men are so medicated they won't see you coming until you are standing on their necks. Master the long game. The true rewards are not cars, but the man you become in the process.
You are the architect of a new world order. Go out there and take everything that is yours.